All right, so red light therapy at Optiskin, huh? You're really thinking about giving it a shot.
Yeah, it's got my attention for sure.
You sent over like a whole stack of stuff on this one.
Well, I wanted to make sure you had the full picture, Like I even found some articles about the science behind it all, not just Optiskin's own hype.
Smart.
Yeah.
I always say, got to do your research right.
Exactly.
So Optiskin, this is Yvonne Wright's thing, right?
Yeah, she's been doing this for like 4 years now, something like that.
Over 100 people she's helped, apparently. And get this, she's a certified plasmatologist.
Plasmatologist.
That's what it says here.
Never heard of that one.
Me neither. And a licensed cosmetologist on top of that.
Okay, so she's definitely got some kind of training under her belt.
Oh, yeah. Over 2,100 hours, they claim.
Well, that's good to know. At least it's not just some fly-by-night operation, right?
Right. No offense to any fly-by-night red light therapy places out there.
Right.
They're based in Davenport, Iowa, by the way.
Davenport, okay. So that's something to think about for you, driving distance and all that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, but let's talk about the actual red light therapy part of this whole thing.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Because the article you sent, it throws around these terms like stimulating cellular mitochondria and like boosting ATP production.
Yeah, I saw that.
And honestly, I kind of just skimmed over those parts. I'm like, I don't speak science.
It's a lie, right?
It is.
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
So your cells, those are like tiny little cities, okay?
Okay.
And the mitochondria, those are like the power plants.
The power plant.
They produce something called ATP, which is the energy currency of the cell. It keeps everything running.
The red light therapy is like giving those little power plants a jump start.
Basically. The idea is that those specific wavelengths of red and near infrared light, they can actually reach your cells and stimulate the mitochondria to produce more ATP, more energy.
And that's a good thing because?
Because more energy means faster healing, less inflammation.
Okay.
Even a boost in collagen production. And collagen, that's kind of a big deal when it comes to aging.
Collagen. I feel like I need a whole other deep dive just to understand what collagen is.
It's basically the protein that keeps your skin firm and, bouncy.
Okay.
Like a trampoline.
Okay.
But as we age, we make less of it.
So less bounce.
Exactly. Less bounce, more wrinkles. You get the idea.
Got it. So red light therapy is basically like giving your skin its own personal fountain of youth.
Well, that's the hope. And there's actually some research that suggests it might actually stimulate collagen production, which could lead to smoother, firmer-looking skin. But like I said, more research is always a good thing.
Always. Okay, but hold on. I got to ask about this whole NASA thing.
The NASA connection.
Yeah, the article mentioned it, and I was like, what do astronauts have to do with any of this?
Well, NASA, they were actually some of the first to really look into how light affects us, especially in space.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Because think about it, up there, resources are limited, right?
Right.
So they were looking for ways to help with things like wound healing, even growing plants, but in zero gravity.
Wait, so you're saying my quest for perfect skin is somehow related to space farming?
Kind of. I mean, it's not a perfect one-to-one comparison.
Right.
What works in space doesn't always work the same way down here.
Yeah.
But it definitely got the ball rolling on a lot of the research into red light therapy here on Earth.
Okay. So we've got potential benefits for muscle recovery, hair loss, wrinkles, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything red light therapy can't do?
Yeah, let's not get too carried away. It's not a miracle cure-all.
Right.
And there are some potential risks and limitations to think about.
Okay, good point. Like what kind of risks?
Well, first of all, not all red light therapy devices are created equal.
Ah, okay. So we've got to talk about the devices themselves too then.
Absolutely.
All right, and what makes for a good one? Because I have a feeling Optiskin's website is going to say theirs is the best.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They're going to say that, right?
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean we can't, look under the hood a little bit.
Okay, I like that. So let's talk about what makes a good red light therapy device. Like, what should people be looking for if they're shopping around?
So the first thing, and this is a big one, is eye protection.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Those lights are bright.
It can be really intense, and those red wavelengths, they can be hard on your eyes if you're not careful.
So you're not just getting rid of wrinkles, you're potentially giving yourself eye damage at the same time.
Exactly.
Yep.
Not exactly the trade-off we're going for, right?
Right. So protective goggles.
Right.
Got it. What else? What about other risks? Like, I know the article mentioned something about pregnancy.
Yeah, that's one where there just isn't enough research yet.
To know for sure.
Right. Whether it's safe or not, we just don't have enough information. So the general consensus is if you're pregnant, talk to your doctor and maybe just, hold off for a bit.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
Okay, so eye protection, check with your doctor if you're pregnant. Got it.
Right.
Now, back to the devices themselves. You said they're not all created equal.
Right. So there are a few key things to look at.
Okay.
The first is wavelength.
Wavelength. Okay, that sounds kind of technical.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But basically, different wavelengths of light, they penetrate the skin at different depths.
Yeah.
And for red light therapy to work the way it's supposed to, you want those wavelengths to reach those little power plants we talked about, the mitochondria, remember?
Right, the mitochondria.
So for that, you're looking for devices that use wavelengths in a specific range, somewhere between 660 nanometers and 850.
Okay, so those specific wavelengths are like the magic numbers.
Pretty much. Other wavelengths, they might not make it through. It's like trying to get into a club with an expired ID.
I love that analogy. Okay, wavelength, got it. What's next?
Power output.
Okay, and that is?
So that refers to how much energy the device is actually putting out.
Okay.
And it's measured in milliwatts per square centimeter.
Milliwatts, okay.
Yeah, you'll usually see it written as MW/cm of yaw. And basically, the higher the power output, the better the penetration.
So more power equals potentially faster results.
Potentially, yeah.
There's always a but.
There is, because it's not quite as simple as just picking the one with the highest number. Okay, why not?
Because treatment time also plays a role.
Right. So how long do you actually have to sit under these red lights?
Usually sessions are somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes, but
I've got a feeling that but is important.
It is. A more powerful device might be able to deliver the same benefits in a shorter time.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you're someone with a busy schedule, that might be something to consider.
Right. Like if you're trying to squeeze in a red light therapy session on your lunch break or something.
Exactly. Do you want a shorter session, even if it means paying more for a higher power device? These are the questions.
Good point. And speaking of devices, Optiskin's website mentions something called the Max Miracle 9600.
The Max Miracle 9600, huh?
Yeah. They call it the Doctor Professional Edition. Any thoughts on that? Does that mean anything to you? Well, it definitely sounds impressive, right?
It does.
Doctor Professional Edition. I mean, come on. But marketing aside, it's good that they're at least being upfront about what device they're using.
That's true.
You know, so you can do your own research, compare it to others, all of that.
So it's not just about whether or not red light therapy works. It's about finding a provider with a device that's right for you.
Exactly. You've got to be an informed consumer, right?
Right.
Take control of your own journey. Okay, before we get too lost in the technical weeds here, let's talk about those other potential benefits.
Okay, yeah. Because wrinkles are one thing, but this article...
It's a whole laundry list, right?
It is. It mentions muscle recovery, hair loss. It's kind of hard to believe it can do it all.
I hear you. It does sound a little too good to be true, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit. But hey, if it works, it works.
That's the spirit. And you know, there is some promising research out there, like for muscle recovery, for example.
Okay. Yeah, the article mentioned that. I'm always interested in anything that'll make my workouts less painful.
Right. It seems like red light therapy might actually help reduce inflammation and speed up muscle repair after exercise.
Interesting. So I could potentially recover faster.
That's what the research suggests.
That would be amazing. And then there's hair loss. They mentioned that too.
Yeah, hair loss. That one's a little trickier, I'll be honest.
Right.
There's some early evidence that it might help. Some small studies have shown it could potentially stimulate hair growth.
Okay.
Specifically in people with androgenetic alopecia. That's a common type of hair loss, by the way.
Right. So is it doing the same thing to hair follicles that it does to skin cells, like giving them an energy boost?
That's the theory. The idea is that the increased ATP production from the red light therapy could help revitalize dormant hair follicles.
Interesting.
But, and I feel like I'm saying this a lot today,
I know what you're going to say.
we need more research.
More research. Yes, always more research. Okay, so maybe hold off on throwing away the hairbrush for now, but definitely something to keep an eye on.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the science behind red light therapy, the potential benefits, the risks.
The devices themselves.
Oh, yeah, those two.
Yeah.
So I guess it really all comes down to you now. Like, what do you think? Are you going to give Optiskin a try?
Well, and this is important. Even if you decide to try red light therapy, you still have to decide if Optiskin is the right place for you.
Right.
Like, do their hours work for you? How does their pricing compare to other places? It's worth shopping around, you know?
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
About their equipment, their experience, all of it.
Exactly. Knowledge is power. Right.
Right.
And just remember, red light therapy, It's not magic.
Right.
It's not going to erase years of sun damage overnight, and it's definitely not a replacement for, a healthy lifestyle.
Of course not.
But it could be a tool, one of many in your wellness toolkit.
I like that. A tool in your wellness toolkit. And like any tool, you got to make sure it's the right one for the job, right?
Exactly. You got it.
All right, well, I think that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
Until next time.
Until next time. And hey, if you're listening out there, let us know what you think. Have you tried red light therapy? Does Optiskin sound legit? Hit us up on social media. We want to hear from you.